Do it again. No. All right. I'm not going to press any buttons. If you miss anything when we've started, I'm just going to record it anyway, so you can all watch it. What I wanted to talk about is everybody is kind of shitting their pants this month. What the month is actually about, it's, I quit. I stopped up, but I went back the other way. Okay, so it's about everything that, that was holding you back, everything that was holding you back previously. This is the month, and this month is about all the restraints, everything you resisted, all the efforts you have put in, the things that you wanted to succeed in dealing with, the problems, the difficulties, the emotions, the overwhelming, all of that. This month, it's making its way out, and it's making its way out in a good way or a bad way. And this depends for you whether it's in a good way or a bad way, depending on whether earth and metal are an actual favorable element for you. Firstly, I wanted to say that the year is already about the fire element and the metal element. And so fire molds the metal, and when it does that, the metal is more flexible. So you're able to use this metal and make something with it. And at the same time, it's what the year is bringing. And so then the month brings more metal and it brings earth with it. And so this is what actually happens. The fire feeds the earth and the earth feeds the metal. So the fire is the year, the metal is the year, and now the month is earth and metal again. So this is wonderful because that fire now has somewhere to go, which is the earth, and it's not totally controlling the metal. The metal on top this month is the judge and the jury. It's also anybody in authority. And so really it's about overcoming things that we find out about. And we're going to see them because in everybody's home this month is an element, in the center is an element of water. This water is the trigram, and it's a trigram like this. So we have two broken lines, solid line, broken line. So with all of that, it means the odd line out is who it's about. And the odd line out is in the middle, which means it's very yang, and that's the middle sun. So that middle sun is going to cause issues, or things about middle sun is going to come out. It doesn't just mean sun as in sun, it's about the youth as well. You know, the little kid that will grab the knife and poke it into the PowerPoint. The little kid that will get on the skateboard on the slope and the end of that slope is the ocean, that kind of thing. At the same time, this year is also about water as in the kidneys. So with kidneys, they're the same shape as your ears. And this year it is about cure kidney disease. And that's shown in a green ribbon. So that green ribbon, there's about 15 different coloured ribbons. So, you know, prostate cancer, all of that, breast cancer, colon cancer, all of that. But the green ribbon, which is really, really elementally, whoever came up with that, I know they did not know the 5 elements, because in the cycle of water, what is in the center, and the kidneys govern water. They also govern sexual desires. They also govern the listening, the courage, and that courage to move forward. And so when we're looking at this, the water of the middle of the year, or the middle of your home, that water here, and on its way out is the wood. And that's what the colour of the ribbon is for the year, for kidney disease. So it's green. Hi, Vicky. So with that, it's also kidney and ear are the same shape. So the ear is what it's about as well. And now people begin to hear. And I'm sure you've all seen, I posted one a couple of days ago about people hearing for the first time in their life. And it's just beautiful. So with all of that comes hope, faith, strength, and courage. You know, the lion in The Wizard of Oz, he needed courage. So he needed to just tell his kidneys how much he loved them, and courage would have happened. But what happens now is that the month came, and you have all felt this month. Okay, and I know from the emails I get, from the messages on my Facebook page, I know you've all felt the pain, the month. And so the month is metal and earth. The metal is on top, the earth is on the bottom. So whatever was hidden, whatever was out of view, has now come to the top, because the dog of the month is actually, we call it the gate of the underworld. So things are going to come up, whether we like it or not. Things are actually going to come up, and things, most of the things are relating to water, and water is the sexual organ. Water is diseases relating to that. Water is fluids of the body. Water is middle-aged men, because it's got a lot to do with hair loss, etc. So it's problems for middle-aged men, problem for middle child syndrome. So all of that together then makes this metal on top, makes it accountable, because metal is off with their head. So if you've done the wrong thing, it's off with your head. And this is why we have seen, the father who's the incest with the daughter. The judge did not give him enough. He gave him a few years. People heard about that. Now there's a petition going round. Then there's the judge that told the girl to keep her legs together because she was raped. Again, that's now gone viral on the internet. And so it's about those that are doing the wrong thing, it's about cutting their heads off. And when we are doing that, we're making people responsible. We're doing the virtue, you can't just do wrong all the time and expect it to be all right. And so it's what it's doing is, if people had any doubt about our system, etc., we then have to do something about it. And so there's petitions going around everywhere of, what has been unearthed and what is real and what is not. And that kind of stuff for each person then depends. But for everybody that is out there, this is a month where what was hidden will actually come to the top. But it comes to the top with the dog. The dog is very humbling, and the dog is, like give the dog a bone and he'll just keep chewing. So instead of giving that dog the bone, you're giving the dog the bone and he's giving you something back. So the earth is telling us da, 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 and the earth is also a natural warrior. So we start to worry about all these things and all these people that are being allowed to go free, etc. Like the kid that ran over the nurse, he had done it before and somebody just let him go. Not anymore. And why? Because of what this is in the center. This also means that everybody has the ability to achieve, accomplish, and for assets and academic as well for the year. So everyone has that potential in the center of every single home. So for some people, they can activate that, and for others, no. You've got to just let it go and either block it off or, walk through it. But the thing is, everyone has it this year. So this year, there's evidence that everybody can overcome and everybody can get through with a little bit of help. Yes, there's the worry side of it first, but it still happens. And so for those people I spoke about last time, if you have an ox or a goat in your chart, then you really need to heed and just be that little bit careful with what the year brings you. But again, look what metal is for you, and that is on top. So, if metal is people like you, that then means that you in person and other people like you. It means, you're doing stuff with other people like you. And what are you doing? underneath it is the dog. The dog is about, something that is behind closed doors. It's not in people's face. And because it's the underworld, it means you're digging up things in that way. You're digging up things, something you did a long time ago, and you just put it away. You didn't even file it. You just shoved it into a box or, in the black box in your head. And then suddenly the month came, October came on the 8th, and there was a trigger. And that trigger was for whatever it was you were doing a long, long, long time ago, you want to come back to it. So think about it. What was it that you were doing such a long, long time ago that has been unearthed and it's here? Earth dog, years, months, uncover, Tutankhamun was uncovered in dog year. Bodies, someone was building a house and they were digging up to put the foundations, and it was a mass suicide grave. And this is in suburbia, so this is the kind of things we uncover. It's so that because we all have the capacity to heal and overcome things, and that's what it's about. It's so you can forget the struggles, forget, the fear of, shall I take that first step? You've got to take that first step because that's what the year is making you. So what is the first step for? Whether the first step is for work, look at what is metal for you and what is earth for you. So for people that are earth elementally, yes, you're going to worry about it, but there's a way out because the metal, there's the earth and there's your way out, okay? If you are metal, you have so much support this month, okay? If you are water, you also have support. And with that support comes a little bit of pressure. If you are wood, you also have support and you have money. There's a storage of money. So remember that everybody has a handout when someone has money. For fire, it's about your talents and your skills and your money. And so every month will bring you something. This is that kind of month. I'm not saying go and meditate and see what it is that has to come out. It will come out. It's whether it comes out, whether you're in the calm of it or whether you're in the chaos of it. Because there's a positive side and a negative side to what's in the center of our home. And it can also be disorders. So, you may hear so-and-so's had a disorder or so-and-so's had a disorder. And that's what it's about. It's also the dog this year or this month is also telling you what you've got to watch out for next year. So heed and listen, because this is where it's all about. You've got to listen. So you already start the process before February 4 comes in and then shoves it in your face, because that's the kind of energy it will. Because next year is Earth on Earth. At the same time, also, it relates what this water in the center of every home, it relates to ancestors. Just like kidneys also relate to ancestors, and so does water. The two together. So your ears, what you hear and what you think you hear, etc. It's being downloaded to you, and it's whether you pay attention or not. Because this year your ancestors are coming and they're telling you. And whether you listen, if you have blinkers on and you can't see which way, then it's not going to work for you. You've got to take off your blinkers and look like an owl, There's a thing in one of the brocades, and it's you turn like the owl so that you release everything in your neck. It's not as stiff. So hopefully that has helped somebody out there. And remember that every time you think, I can't get through this, what is in the center of your home will actually help you get through it. Because they say for this trigram, God toils in the abysmal. Abysmal is you can't see what it is. All you can see is a solid line, which is yang, and two broken lines on either side. This middle child means that's the yang, the middle child. It's male. And then the two females above, that's like a little boy that is spoiled by two females. And so that's kind of what that is like. It's the deep emotions that normally only come out on a full moon, or, when tragedy or chaos. But this is a whole year of it. This water is going to flow, whether it flows downhill or whether it flows uphill. This water will flow no matter what. So think of it. This is what's in the middle of your home. Whether you have to fix it or remedy it or take care of it, the trigram that is there means you will all achieve, you will all accomplish, and at the same time it's assets and academic. Academic meaning you'll learn something this year, and water being your ancestors, you may get it in a dream, you may get it in a meditation, that kind of thing, but it does tell you. So I know the month is that sword that just chops their heads off, but it's only chopping the heads off those that, are not responsible. They're not virtuous. They have no care. There's no humbleness. There's nothing like that. And that's what actually happens. But then at the same time, we are the ones that care. We are behind closed doors. No one gets to see us worry about all of things. But just have faith in the big people. Our authorities will get us through, I guess. Maybe we have to just vote them out, but it'll get us through. And that's what the authority is, not just judges, not just CEOs. It's presidents, it's prime ministers. They all have to have a change of heart this month. They all have to change this month. Otherwise, next month, they're actually going to be carried down the stream with the water, the travel star next month. So hopefully that helps a little bit. If you just came in like some of you did, right at the end, I know how to save it and then I'll post it. So any questions, please let me know if there's anything else you want to know, and hopefully that helps you get through this month. There are some days that are more challenging than others, and I'll try and do a weekly post on that as well. No questions? Doesn't look like it. All right. Good night, guys.